is just getting started.
Okay, now we can go. We need to. Okay, I thought with some more stuff it would come up, but nope. Okay, demon, hunter, druid, a priest, druid. And no stormer, so this will maybe be fun. Looks like they have increased this, I think. Wait, win 15 games of Hearthstone's ranked mode. Fuck is this? God damn it. Okay, and while we do this boring stuff, some our prediction for the 2024 Chinese Grand Prix from P1 will happen, and some other stuff like the 2026 car and Concord stuff could be interesting, maybe. So let's start on match.
Our predictions for the 2024 Chinese Grand Prix. Right, let's get into our predictions, shall we? And start with biggest good surprise.
Oh, biggest good surprise. Leclerc will finally get a good qualifying.
I must protect the world.
And I'm ready for it. I am ready for this to happen because I think it is going to. Lewis Hamilton. Enough of the slander. Enough of the...
You mean biggest surprise that he will actually get more points than he will finish 4, 5, 6.
He's washed. Enough of the...
But he's super washed. He was in wet weather, I think. Yeah. Let's see. What race was that? Was it Japan? Or was it? It must be in Australia. The practice 2. It was raining, so he is washed.
Does he belong to go to Ferrari? Let's get rid of all of that now. He's going to China. Feel like, you know, it's a track he's been to many times. There are some drivers on the grid that have never been to China, which is quite ridiculous to think how long it's been off the calendar.
Yeah, I've not been on any track, but I've not seen the Chinese Grand Prix in a race live, you can say.
But I feel as though I'm not expecting a Mercedes win or even a
It will
podium,
never
but
happen
I'm
this year.
expecting him to...
I mean, if people don't believe McLaren will get a win this year, then Mercedes will surely not get close to a win.
dispatch of George Russell this weekend, and that's where it will be a good surprise for him.
it feels like a new Grand Prix to me, and it's mad to think there's going to be so many fans that have never seen one.
Get ready, because it is the most underrated track in the world.
Better deliver now. My biggest good surprise, I've gone for, and I'm back on the team predictions. I've missed them. I've gone for Alpine.
Good surprise, Alpine, no, Williams.
This could go horribly wrong.
What have you done?
This is my logic. There's two bits of logic here. One is they can't.
Ta chansen och dela på
shit.
vinresor för
At
25
time.
miljoner
Go
på
away.
Postkodlotteriet.se.
Can't get any worse.
That's a loophole more than logic, if you
It's
ask
a
me.
loophole more than logic. And two, I predicted Alpine biggest flop in Vegas because I was like, oh, long straight, they'll be awful. Yeah, absolute tractor, they'll be rubbish. And they did really well. So I'm going for the same logic and thinking that my brain is telling me that Alpine might be absolutely awful and get lapped 6 times. So if I go for the opposite, maybe it might.
Now, you're second guessing yourself now, mate. That's
how bad my good surprises have been this year.
And I love how you've compared Alpine last year to the Alpine this year, where they have clearly built something that they regret for this year because they've fallen probably 5 positions lower in the pacing charts compared to where they were before. But fair enough, you've gone straight. Yeah, Alpine will be good there. So let's see if that pays off for you. Biggest flop. You're not going to like this one, Tommy. My biggest flop is Yuki Tsunoda. He's had far
No, why?
too much hype come. Oh, no, not far too much hype. I'm kidding. He has deservedly received the hype around his performances so far. Although I smell a little flop on the horizon. I feel as
Yeah, I think it's your own fault you're smelling.
though.
I hate you.
look,
It's going to come true as well with your flop.
Well, I'm 4 from 4. It's probably not going to happen this time now that I'm getting a little bit confident with how many biggest flops I've got right. But
No.
yeah, just purely based on vibes, no other reason.
Just
Yuki Tsunoda
fast
might
win.
just send a little dive bomb into that hairpin, straight into the side of Daniel Ricciardo. Who knows?
My biggest flop, I've gone for Oscar Piastri. Again, hope it doesn't come true because Oscar's doing well this season. But the reason I've gone for it is I think McLaren.
Wait. Did you say...
Because Oscar's doing well this season, but the reason I've gone for it is I think McLaren might struggle on this track. I know there's a few
McLaren will struggle. I think Mercedes will struggle.
high-speed corners, but there's that incredibly slow and long
2
turn
more
1,
matches.
and the really long straight as well. And they've had some problems in the past on tracks with big long straights.
Have you got one biggest flop right this season?
Oh, you put me on the spot there.
I just feel as though.
I must have done. You've also reminded me that we've not mentioned the scores, but it was 10-9 to me.
Well done. No, I didn't bring it up because no one cares.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't care.
We only do it when you.
Yeah. Well, if I'm leading, I will be shouting it from the rooftops at the start of the podcast. Right. Sprint shootout now, because of course it is a sprint weekend. Do not forget. Locking in. Charles Leclerc is taking sprint shootout.
Yeah. So why don't you have... The fuck did he... You picked Mercedes as, Hamilton as a good surprise. Why not just say Charles Leclerc is the good surprise? Get in actually pole position.
Pole position. He's going to say F the haters. F everyone that's been saying, did Ferrari fire the wrong driver? It's time. It's time to get that quali specialist back out.
Yeah, true.
Interesting. I have gone for Carlos Sainz.
That copium.
Okay.
Both going on the Ferrari hype train.
But you're going on the other side.
Yeah, I've gone the other way, mainly because I backed Leclerc last time and he let me down. So we'll find out.
Wow. Goodness gracious me. Let you down. That's wild. Sprint winner. Max Verstappen. Yeah. I feel as though Red Bull are going to be really good around China.
So why... Then Carlos Sainz will 100% not be in pole position.
I feel it in my bones. I don't know what gives me that indication that Red Bull might be quick around here. perhaps their recent run of form has been reasonably good. But yes, Max Verstappen, sprint winner, and heartbroken once again. Although I will actually be... No, actually, no, I tell a lie. For the sprint shootout, great. Actually, I really hope that doesn't come true, because Charles Leclerc is going to get sprint shootout pole when I'm on a plane. So, but I've locked it in now.
We shall see. We shall see. Sprint winner. I've gone for Carlos Sainz. Why not?
You are doing something there. You want
What am I
to.
doing?
You want to sit because this whole time in the P1 live shows, you were like, "Oh, it's 3-0 to Carlos Sainz." You want to make it 4-0, don't you?
You say this.
You're channeling it.
No. Well, I really backed Charles in the last race. I think this is going to be a track that will suit Ferrari down to the ground. So I am basically just going on the form of Sainz that he's delivering and doing a good job, and we'll see. It would be obviously very cool to see if we get a bit of a mix-up in the sprint.
Let's now move to pole position. Who's getting pole on the Saturday?
Depressing.
And it is for me, Max Verstappen. Congratulations, Max. I hope you're very happy. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I don't cash in whatsoever on all of my Verstappen predictions. And if it is a Ferrari Hype Train Express, then get me on board, because I will be there.
Yeah, I've also gone for Max Verstappen. He has got pole position in every race so far. They do seem a lot stronger in qualifying this year. He's got a bit more of a buffer, although that being said, Perez got very close in Japan, but it's hard to bet against Max, isn't it, for another pole?
Absolutely, but we should continue to enjoy Formula One no matter what. Let's go to our top three and begin with third place. I'm locking in Sergio Perez. Yeah, he's going to have...
So yeah, Sergio Perez P3. What will I pick? And it is for the sprint race.
Another little podium. Not going to be second, but it's going to be there. It's going to be solid enough. And yeah, Checo, another bit of silverware for him.
Very nice. P3, I have gone for Charles Leclerc on the podium again. Ferrari continuing their lovely start to the season, I think.
Don't be saying too many nice things about Ferrari, because it could go very wrong, and they'll be listening to this podcast and get a little bit too ahead of themselves.
Oh, God, you're interviewing them both. You're meeting them both. Why have I not predicted them both biggest flop?
Oh, God.
Why have I just discovered this now?
Yeah, so I'm going...
Wait, what? Did it?
Both. You're meeting them both. Charles Leclerc on the podium again. Ferrari continuing their lovely start to the season, I think.
Don't be saying too many nice things about Ferrari, because it could go very wrong, and they'll be listening to this podcast and get a little bit too...
What should I do? Okay.
Where shall I strike?
Too ahead of themselves.
Oh, God, you're interviewing them both. You're meeting them both. Why have I not predicted them both biggest flop?
Oh, God.
Why have I just...
Fuck, biggest flop. Sonoda and Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, so I'm going to an event out in China, and yes, I am seeing both Carlos and Charles. So...
Although, no, actually, when we see Carlos, he becomes the greatest of all time. So
so we should actually be saying he should win.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But it was just me, though. It's not both of us.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
Lots of moving parts here. But either way, second place, I am going for Charles Leclerc. A lovely little P2, back on top-ish. Well, back on top of Formula 1.5. And gets a little nice P2. I'm ready for it. Give me it right now. I need it.
P2, I've gone for Carlos Sainz.
Unbelievable.
And it will be fascinating
True.
to see how that does continue, like how it works between them. I don't think it will last the whole season, but Carlos is in a really good run of form, so Let's see.
It will not
Let's
last
see
for long.
indeed. And finally, the winner of the Chinese Grand Prix is Max Verstappen. Congratulations once again. Full
You've
stop.
won.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Wave the checker flag now. Yeah. P1 I've also gone for Max Verstappen.
But, you know, it could be a worldie. All right.
China is a bit unknown in terms of, you know, not been there in a long time. It's funny that China used to be the one that, in theory, was like way back when we used to race in China. It was like the circuit Red Bull hated because they didn't have a very good engine and they struggled on the long straight, and it was like the Mercedes track. But a lot has changed in Formula One. Max had 5 wins the last time we raced in China, and well, that's changed a lot.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. It feels like we
So
haven't been for 20 years,
depressing.
but no, that's not the case either. Now let's go to our one crazy prediction. And mine is difficult to measure, but I'm locking it in anyway. It will be a banger, and everyone realises China is underrated. Mic drop.
Okay.
Yep. It'll just be a great race. People will
Please
enjoy
be
it.
right.
And then everyone will go, wow, China. Wow, what great racetrack. I can see it.
China has a habit. I think we said this in our Patreon pod where we went through a classic race where it can either be absolutely dull or it
Okay,
can
so I have no idea how the Chinese race will be. So, well, I will have a
be
surprise.
unbelievable, and there's kind of no in between. My crazy prediction is that Lance Stroll makes Q2.
Wait, if I wait, Bottas? Unless Stroll, no, probably not.
Sorry? Lance Stroll
makes
makes Q2 is your crazy prediction.
Yeah.
It will probably not. I mean, a new track, and it's Lance Stroll. It will not happen.
So wait, so he has to make Q2 and Q2 only. So if he makes Q3,
No,
or
he gets out of Q3 basically. Sorry, he gets out of Q1. What am I talking about?
he gets out of Q1. That's not a crazy prediction.
Is it not?
You can't. No. What a joke. Absolutely disgusting. How many times has he missed Q2? Like once this season. That is not crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
You're looking at
I was
last
counting
year.
as last year as well.
No, that's wild.
All right. Lance Stroll makes Q3.
Yeah, I'll allow that. I'll allow that. And finally, 3 crazy predictions from you, wonderful lot. If
Man,
you
the believers on Lance Stroll.
want to get
What?
involved, Matt P1 Tommy on social media, where you can reply to a graphic. And they are actually 3, all from the Patreon gang. So first
Yes,
and
because we've not
foremost,
done the graphic yet because we're recording this so early. So we've got our wonderful Patreon gang to
fair.
give us
But
free
also,
predictions.
the Patreon gang are
The
great.
goats.
So, you know, they get a full segment this time. So P1 Patreon member Sconus Dext Murder. Logan finishes ahead of Alex. 0 points. P1 Patreon member Katie Ocon
True.
gets points.
Nah. Alpine isn't that
0
good.
points probably. And P1 Patreon member Lord of Admirals. All drivers finish the race.
So depressing.
Potential.
I mean, that could happen.
For that one. So, okay, fantastic. We are done. I need to now go catch a flight to China and catch some feelings as well for Babe once again.
Nah,
We'll see you very
like-
soon. We'll be live on Twitch, not on, are you going to Saturday?
Yeah, but let's see. Pull Max Verstappen. See, can we have... Okay. Oh, fuck me, jag tar...
Naturlig mjukhet från Sverige. Lambi.
Oh, fuck me, just because I want to actually see what the fuck they said.
Matt.
I wonder.
Or see it again, more or less. Okay, Max Verstappen P1 probably will surely happen. Charles Leclerc and yeah, this I would believe that could happen. I believe less on Science P2. Fucking me.
I've also gone for Max.
Yeah, Science P2, no. Leclerc P2, yes. Perez P3, yes. But Science, no. Charles Leclerc should have a good qualifying. But for some reason he have not done that.
Let none survive.
See what more. I mean, the biggest surprise, Alpine will not be any. Hello, was it? No, okay, Lewis Hamilton will not be a big surprise. Or Alpine. Biggest flop will probably not be Tsunoda or Oscar Piastri. What more happened?
I concede.
Yeah, probably nothing more to talk about that.
Crazy prediction.
Man, that was most annoying game ever. Luckily, it's just the last game now. Let's see. Yeah, the Concorde. The 2026 car. Where do we have it? We'll see. Broken before it's even in. The opinions on undrivable 2026 F1 cars. I know nothing about this.
We're about 2 years away from the reset button being hit with Formula One cars. The FIA wants to change the engine regulations around a bit, which will not only hopefully reset the pecking order, for want of a better phrase, but also try and reduce things down a little bit in terms of car size, because...
Yeah. That will be... I mean, I would want them to change the front and back wing. Because I really don't like how they look. I mean, I like you see in the...
Well, things have gone a bit too far in recent years, haven't they? I've covered the...
Nah, I really like when the wings are like really straight. This fucking... what can you call it? The circle rainbow wing. It looks so weird.
Stuff surrounding the engines a couple of times before, but well, screw it. Let's do a recap just in case you've forgotten or aren't quite aware as to what is going to be happening or should be happening. The FIA wants to change the construction of the engines so that the electrical output to ICE output ratio
Oh, hopefully Alpine will not fail to make their engine done.
is around 50-50, and it wants to ditch the MGU-H because no road-going car outside of things like the AMG Project 1 and other hypercars based off Formula 1 designs don't have an MGU-H. And it's also hoped that this will reduce the cost of an engine. Sorry, a power unit. Saying power unit instead of engine is like saying sports entertainment instead of professional wrestling. Anyway, smaller engine construction might help reduce the overall weight and size of the car too, as well as the costs. Although it has to be said that these new rules for 2026 haven't even been signed off yet. The engine manufacturers don't know what they're getting in for, they don't even know what they're building, and really, they need to start getting on top of this now.
So, time to wait one more year, maybe, before.
Or 3 months ago, ideally. The problem is, though, this isn't as simple as just removing the MGU-H, slapping bigger and more powerful batteries in, altering some code on a computer, and sending the cars on their way.
Why not?
Because, as Karun Chandhok explained on Sky Sports' own podcast recently, there are some other complexities that are presenting themselves. And it looks like the chassis of the car in which this new setup is going to be in will have to be changed to cope. And there's more complexities on top of that, too. Currently, Formula 1 cars are exploiting ground effect. Air rushes through tunnels underneath the car, and as it goes through these tunnels, the air accelerates, which at the same time reduces air pressure. This low pressure pocket helps suck the car down to the ground and in theory reduces over-reliance on topside aero that, again, in theory, should make things easier for any car following. Because in days gone by...
In theory, yes. And it was maybe in 2022. But Toto Wolff didn't like how good Red Bull was. They wanted that change, and Red Bull become even better.
There was this constant talk of aero wash, tyres being destroyed through understeering dirty air, and so on, and so on, and so on. In 2026, there's talk of possibly allowing some active aero. What this means is the cars will be able to run an absolute boatload of front and rear wing in the corners, but when they get out on a straight, computer wizardry kicks in and the wing flaps are reduced electronically to reduce drag. And then you've got things like DRS on top of that can still be used to facilitate overtaking. So, for example, the teams could be running Monaco-like levels of aero at Monza so that the cars can go through Ascari and the two Lesmos pretty well, and then have it all taken off on the long straights to get them over 220 miles an hour. However, this has not gone down well in the simulations. Simulators are great. My channel...
Yeah, simulation are really good for Mercedes. Not real life, but in a simulation, the car is really good.
I started with them. Alright, they're just advanced video games, but I enjoy them. I use models contained within the simulators and games to show you cars I can't otherwise get pictures of, or if I need to show you a close-up of a livery or some sort of innovative part of the car. Blown diffusers, double diffusers, and the F-duct all spring to mind. I showed you all of those in R-Factor. Or I can use them to show you how utterly unhinged a modern F1 car would be around a certain track, like I did when there was all that talk of just go to Brands Hatch when they needed tracks to fill the calendar back in 2020. Although I should be putting illustrative purposes only on the bottom of these kinds of displays because, as people are quick to always point out, it's a video game. I know that.
Yeah.
In the same way I know wrestling's fake. The teams
It's
have
not
currently
fake.
got access to something simply called Fanjo, which is a baseline representation of what they think the cars are going to look
is
like in
this?
2026, even though they've not actually confirmed what the cars in 2026 are going to be like. So GGFIA. Sources have told Autosport that there is a massive problem with the ideas that they've currently got in mind, to the point where the cars are undrivable. Not, oh my god, this is different.
Oh shit, so they will just make car so everyone can drive a Mercedes. But that makes it more fair for everyone, so that's nice.
To what I'm used to, it needs X, Y, and Z doing to sort it out. It's more, even the best driver with the best reactions in the world is going to be in the wall. This is literally undrivable. At the point of writing, Fanjo appears to just have an active rear wing. The wing can be run pretty high through the corners, and then on the straights it can be
Just make them more straight, please. Fuck this round edge thing.
turned down via a computer. With the rear wing in its low drag configuration and the front wing cranked up, drivers have been spinning in a straight line and are also unable to take the slightest of slight kinks to the left or right without crashing, because of what can only be described as the most insane aero imbalance known to man. So to paint a picture of all of this, let's take a quick physics lesson. And this can be tested by yourself in your favourite racing simulator. I've chosen this particular one because this is what I use for almost all of my model close-ups, and it looks the prettiest, so I might as well stick with it.
Oh, Lotus High. One day, or maybe one season, maybe Lotus will be back. I mean, it will be a great business for the Chinese owner to try to make Lotus into Formula 1.
I used to do this all the time on the Jeff Crammon Grand Prix games for the fun of it, and to be honest, these simpler pre-hybrid cars are easier to get the desired effect with. You need the car to be balanced, otherwise the car isn't going to handle well or perform well. Too much overall drag and you'll have great cornering speed but go too slow in a straight line. Too little downforce and you'll find it incredibly difficult to get through the corners, but you'll be a rocket ship in a straight line. Now there are other ways of setting the car up through suspension settings, tow, camber, rake and other bits and pieces for extra mechanical grip or to get the most from the diffuser, but we're only going to be focusing on topside aero here. You can balance the wings to suit you and the track. Somewhere like Monza, you might take all the rear wing off and set the front to have just enough so you can actually get some turn in without scrubbing the front end across the road. At Monaco, you might crank it all the way up to generate extra grip in the slow speed corners, but the second the aero balance is too far out, you're going to run into some problems. If the balance is too far rearward, then the rear end is producing far too much downforce relative to the front, and the front end won't turn. The car will actually be generating lift at the front, although it's not quite Escudo Pikes Peak in Gran Turismo 3 style wheelies. But what they found in the simulators is the opposite. There's too much aero weight on the front end. So what I've done is I've set this car up to have maximum front wing and all the rear wing taken off. And I'm going to lob it into Copse Corner at Silverstone to show you what the effect of that might be. Hello,
Nice.
it's Editing Aidan here. Slight issue with doing the demonstration that Assetto Corsa just does not want to load for me. I can load at the showroom, no problem, but actually getting into a driving session doesn't want to play ball, so I'll just do it in a different one instead. Soz.
Oh my god, it's like... Oh, what race? Or qualifying. The both Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton and Russell, in one corner. The wind was too hard. Or fast, or what you ever call it. And the boats span out. Look, that's Max Verstappen. I mean, I wouldn't be... I mean, if the cars are this bad, wouldn't they make racing really interesting? You never know when one of the cars will just crash out. So many different winners could happen. One day Max Verstappen spin out, another day Lewis Hamilton, then Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc. And who knows, maybe we can have a Haas winner, Williams winner, who knows, Alonso can maybe win a race if people spin out.
Because much like it was the other way around, the rear end is actually slightly lifted off the ground. It's obviously connected to the ground because you're still able to go forwards, but you can do this at home by yourself. You can just run your finger lightly across your arm like that, and it's pretty easy. What you want is you want to push it in and generate that extra grip.
There we go.
And that actually slightly hurts. I might have overdone it slightly, but hopefully you get the point. What the teams have found is that this aero imbalance is 3 times what it currently is with DRS open. Try to go through Copse with DRS open, you're not making it through.
Oh, like Max Verstappen in Silverstone. Eller, in the same race. 2021.
Now imagine that aero imbalance being 3 times as bad. It's so bad with so little grip and so much engine power that the drivers in the simulator had to ease off so much that they were slower than Formula 2 cars. So the FIA is now thinking, okay, we need to have the front and rear wing both doing some sort of magic to effectively balance things out and help keep the cars safe. But the teams can't do anything until they know what chassis they're going to be building, with the engine regulations still not being signed off. Christian Horner has expressed fears about teams having some sort of bodge job car because it's been left too late to build something around the engine. Because, as Kieran Chandok has mentioned on the Sky Sports podcast, this is probably the first time ever that the rules regarding the chassis will be determined by how the FIA wants the engines built, as opposed to the team simply building the car to the rules and then sticking the engine in afterwards. My question is, why is it now the April of 2024 and still nothing signed off? We had the hybrid regulations announced in 2011. Yeah, 2011. I had to way back machine my...
Death Knight! That would be fun. The same, almost. see, have I done this? Yes. Where do we have? Look at this, 100 wins. Can it be 103 after 3 matches? Probably not, but it's a slow progress to get wins on this. Yeah. Fuck me, what's it called? Death Knight. Man.
I will show no mercy.
The unholy fester.
Our way through the FIA's website, yeah, alright, I used an external link from Wikipedia, but the press release for the change to the hybrids was made on the 29th of June 2011. It's the 12th of April 2024 and still no confirmation on engine designs yet.
Introducing QI10 Max.
Man, they may be waiting until Ford. Is it Ford? No, Cadillac. Cadillac and yeah, Ford is the GM. What do you call it? Enemy. But Cadillac and Andretti, they may be waiting for them
Most
to
stable and forgiving driver we've ever made. Only from TaylorMade.
join them. Monster fucking Red Bull is
Though they
better.
want it all signed off by June. And these engine regulation changes were designed to attract in the likes of Audi, Porsche and other teams like that. But
Not Cadillac and Andretti. The
now
fuck?
we're what, 23 months away from testing in 2026. Ferrari, Red Bull / Ford / whoever, Honda, Mercedes and Alpine, assuming they're still around at this point, well, Renault anyway, don't know what they're building, so we could end up having another 2014 at this rate. Remember the early days of hybrid with the teams having engine, turbo and MGU failures quite often? Okay, back then it was uncharted territory. It was going to have a few kinks that needed ironing out, and Honda with McLaren were memed left, right and centre because of the way the engines kept going pop.
Yeah, man. Poor Alonso. Hyping up the McLaren Honda deal and then just went bad.
But if there are problems with this regulation set, then we can almost certainly start pointing fingers and saying, you didn't give them enough time. Not only that, but Verstappen has got some concerns that the 2026 regulations, if they go as predicted, will be based around who has the most engine power rather than who can get the aero right. And on top of that, there are concerns that the teams might only have about 10 seconds of maximum electric boost, so storing and deploying might end up being a mission, with Horner saying they might have to downshift on a straight to recover energy. As someone pointed out in a comment section somewhere, a Eurofighter can't stay in the air without a small army of computers constantly altering the flight surfaces. Legitimately, if a computer crashes on a Eurofighter, it drops out of the sky. That's how much it relies on computers, because without them, the pilot is going to have to check for traffic, check for an enemy, assuming it's in a dogfight, check this computer, this instrument, that instrument, and so on. And actually, the pilot can't react fast enough to make all the changes necessary to keep that plane in the air. Will Formula 1 cars need something similar so that the driver isn't going at 180 miles an hour with his eyes locked on a gauge on his steering wheel? At the risk of sound...
But George Russell already do that. So for him it will be no difference. The only difference is if he is behind Alonso, then he will crash out.
Sounding like a broken record, this aero stuff baffles me. Not because I don't understand aero, I don't understand aero, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. It seems that the FIA is trying to change the formula and do utterly unhinged things with it, while preserving lap times. The cars are going to be the fastest in the world around a circuit, whatever you do with them. A Formula 1 car is 10 seconds a lap faster than a Formula 2 car at Barcelona. You can sacrifice 3 or 4 seconds a lap and still have them be a decent way faster than the feeder series or IndyCar. I'd happily take 4
It might be hard for Alpine to do that, but the rest of the teams maybe can.
seconds slower than the previous generation of car, if it means the cars can actually do some racing with not too much dirty air interfering with the dude behind. But the FIA is running out of time. It needs to sign these things off pretty soon. Otherwise, it's going to be another case of Formula One shooting itself in the foot that will just completely ruin the reputation of the sport if the cars keep breaking down every week. But I'd like to know what you think. So then, this has been something happening in the world of motorsport, and this has been my opinion on that thing. If this thing has made you think things about the thing, then like this thing so I know.
Okay, fuck. Okay, so that I would say it doesn't sound good that this FIA or F1 is slow with getting the onions parts out. Fucking getting the information, so the Audi and other people that will do onions will maybe not have enough time to fix the onion if there is problem like it's with Alpine. Then we have maybe a Mercedes 2014 stuff. Only they can do anything in the races. But maybe that help Audi to be a super good yes, what can I say? Fighting for maybe wins. Okay, and now we have the we have that also, fucking ads. But shutting out newcomers completely. Opinions on the Concord Agreement rumors. Nothing I heard either. So let's see what fun that can be when all the ads are done.
There seems to be a lot going on at the minute. I did the video on Friday where I talked about... What was it I was talking about? But either way, something else popped up over the weekend that I thought might be interesting, so I thought I'd do a video on it and just see what's going on, because if it does go through, it could be big. Although it does have to be noted straight off the bat, this is all rumour, since it's not been mentioned on the likes of the BBC, The Race, Autosport, Motorsport.com, Sky Sports, ESPN, or any of the major news outlets. So don't take any of this as a this is happening, because it's just something that's been floating around. Although it's Joe Saward that's been saying it, so there might be a small element of reality to it. So I guess this is another episode of Humour the Rumour, where I take a rumour that's floating around on the internet and sort of talk about it as if it is going to happen. So it's kind of...
Yeah. Like everyone else have talked about Max Verstappen going to Mercedes. Maybe Carlos Sainz going to Red Bull. Fuck is this? This is just a sad joke.
kind of like a, alright,
2 more
we'll
games
play along.
of this shit.
So I'll just get it out of the way, because some people might take this as it is happening, even though it's
wow, I
not
can't
been
lose. No,
reported everywhere else. Because there's going to be a lot of clickbait going on, isn't there? Because, well, this is YouTube. So what's happening then, besides the lighting being all over the place in this video, because we've actually got some sunshine in England today? Well, it's to do with the Concord Agreement. They're going through the process of signing the next edition of that document, and everything in it is rumoured to be boiling down to one thing: money. For those that aren't quite in the...
The unholy fester.
I think he's lying. I never heard FIA or F1 doing stuff because of the money.
No, the Concord Agreement is a document that was originally drawn up by Bernie Eccleston at the tail end of the FISA-FOCA War. It's pretty much the peace treaty for the FISA-FOCA War. It's a document that's incredibly complex and opaque. We will probably only ever know headline pieces of it, but in a nutshell, it details all the commercial expectations and obligations of all the teams for a season, or, well, the period in which this document is in effect. What the Concord Agreement essentially eliminated was the have-a-go heroes turning up in customer chassis that only did their home Grand Prix or 1 or 2 races a season. So it was basically F1's way of saying, don't forget, you're here forever. The main things to take away from that first document that was signed in 1981 is that FOCA was given the right to televise the races, which was then leased to FOM, 2 companies owned by Eccleston.
Man, we go really far off to explain the stuff that happens now.
Other part is that the document guaranteed the team's protection from flights of whimsy from the FIA. It meant that Balestri couldn't come up with absolutely insane rule changes like the "your licence is tied to your contract" thing. The rights weren't signed over until 1992, as it so happens. Bernie required the approval of Jean-Marie Balestri to do so, and sent his mate Paddy McNally to do all of the negotiations because Paddy could speak French. Eventually, it was all negotiated, it was all signed off, and it all came into effect for the 1992 season. Not long after which, Max Mosley was elected president of the FIA, and between Bernie and Max, they made things take off through the 90s, as TV, sponsorship, development, and other bits and pieces went absolutely insane. It was something ridiculous like the budgets tripling during the time this particular edition of the Concord Agreement was in effect, 1992 until the end of 1996. It was then re-signed in 1997, again in 1998 because Williams, McLaren and Tyrrell weren't signatories on the 1997 one, 2009, 2013 and the latest in 2021. So this document is a very important part of Formula One history. Without it, the sport probably wouldn't be the multi-billion-dollar enterprise that it is now, and it also, at the same time, offers the teams all the protections they need. There's been 8 of these documents between 1981, when the first one was signed, and 2020, when the 8th was signed.
See. Unknown. Fiat don't have problems with Tyrell anymore. That's a good thing for them. Ooh, so the cost gaps is the latest one.
2020 signatures all locked in, ready for the agreement to begin in 2021. Similarly, 1981 it was all signed, 1982 it came in. This is the document that essentially locked in the cost cap rules, which were introduced for 2021. It also protected the value of the teams already in the sport, and this is where that $200 million new team registration fee came in. This document will be in effect until the end of the 2025 season, with the details of the new agreement looking to be signed at some point this year, hopefully. The new document will kick in for the 2026 season, when the sport has its new regulation changes with the engines and the aero and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's what that video was, wasn't it? I crashed that Lotus at Cops. But there's going to be one small problem if you're an established IndyCar, Formula E, Extreme E and V8 supercar team looking to make it into Formula One. The rumour is that the teams want to lock this Concord Agreement down so that there will be a maximum of 10 teams on the grid.
10 teams? That's not fun. Where is Cadillac Andretti?
It's been no secret that since Liberty Media took over in 2017 that the sport has taken on more of a American franchise system.
Yeah, without Cadillac and Andretti, yeah. Pro-American.
Going to see in things like major sports leagues in America. Those major sports leagues being Major League Baseball, the National Football League, the National Hockey League, and the National Basketball Association. It's why, under this format, you're more likely to see teams move around. In the American League system, teams are locked in. Unlike, say, the football leagues of Europe, for instance, there's no authority that governs the sport from the top level right down to the grassroots. The Football Association in England does that as an example. Newcastle United play to the same rules that Walsall do. Walsall play to the same rules as #United, and #play to the same rules as the Holbeach United under-18s. Because of the promotion and relegation system, there's a theoretical probability, albeit almost zero, of Walsall making it to the Premier League. Likewise, a team in the Premier League can drop down to League 2. In the American system, they do have expansions to allow more teams in, but those expansions don't happen very often. The last team to enter the NFL, for instance, was the Houston Texans. Inter Miami was the last one to enter Major League Soccer, and the Seattle Kraken were the latest team to enter the NHL. Although the Arizona Coyotes are looking to move to Salt Lake City and join the NHL proper. It's also very, very rare for a team to go under completely and just be completely erased from existence. I've tried to find the most recent one, but it seems that it was all back in the 50s that the last time someone went bankrupt.
The fuck?
So why move? Well, sometimes the teams want to take advantage of an emerging market. They want to move to a big city that doesn't already have a big team so they can take advantage of new fans there. They might be in financial trouble and just need to get somewhere where they're going to make more money. Or, in some cases, somebody's paid for a massive f***off stadium that they can move into. As has been the case in recent years, there have been a few teams moving to Las Vegas. In 2028, the Oakland Athletics will move to Vegas. The Oakland Raiders have already moved to Vegas. Basically, all the Oakland teams have moved to Las Vegas. Well, I mean, the Oakland Raiders have been all over the place. They were in Oakland, then Los Angeles, then Oakland again, and now they're in Vegas. And while we're in that part of the world, on the other side of San Francisco Bay, the San Francisco Giants used to play in New York. The LA Dodgers played in Brooklyn. The Pittsburgh Penguins were on the edge.
Holy shit. I mean, this is America, who cares?
Moving before they won the Sidney Crosby sweepstakes. Meanwhile, in Europe, it's very, 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 very rare that a team will move. The obvious example is Milton Keynes Dons. They were once Wimbledon, but then relocated to Milton Keynes, and they're called Franchise FC for that reason. So with Formula One, that's kind of the model they're following. Close it all off, keep the teams who are already in, and only expand when the teams are in a unanimous agreement. If you want
Man. No addressing Cadillac, Fistball man.
to come in, you've got to buy an existing franchise, for want of a better phrase. This is what's happening with that Arizona Coyotes hockey team that I've just mentioned. They've been bought out by the same guy that owns the Utah Jazz basketball team. That's why they're moving to Salt Lake City. So let's say, for instance, somebody buys Haas. They can just come in, buy the team, rename it if they want to, and carry on. And in a weird way, that might actually be a cheaper way of getting into Formula One. Teams are now approaching $1 billion.
Vilken ostklassiker är du?
Jag skulle nog säga
listen up for
tycker den passar alla.
Fucking shit game.
Och jag gillar när alla är med.
Yeah,
Herrgård,
that
press
time.
eller grevé. Vilken ostklassiker är du?
The fuck is this dog?
Förändring som får dig att känna.
$1 billion valuations, particularly teams like Red Bull, since Verstappen is the new face of the sport. But there is one other rumoured thing that some want in this new document:
this fucking
independent ownership. Because you've got Red Bull and you've got, well, I'm just calling them Toro Rosso because the current name with
Visa Cash App RB from one team, come on. Easy.
what is it, contactless payment, credit card, bulls, or whatever it is,
God,
it's
fuck.
too much.
Some
Long
early
story
stuff.
short, they're both owned by the same parent company. The idea is that if the team is going
my
to
God,
stay,
give me
then
4
Red
drops.
Bull's involvement with
The
that
fuck
team
is
has
this?
to end. Sell to an independent buyer, whether that's Michael
Give me
Andretti or
2
somebody else.
of these.
Zach Brown is the person in the paddock that is most vocal about this, because it seems that Toro Rosso have
So
actually
fucking
opened up a
boring.
new aero facility in Milton Keynes where Red Bull is
Free
based.
games, free shit,
But
fucking games. At least some fun stuff can actually happen now.
the thing is, I
Oh,
don't
shit.
see
Oh well.
what the
keep
issue
going.
is, but then I'm not in the sport. By I don't see what the issue is, I mean, why are they so intent on protecting the money? I know that some are going to say that some of the teams are scared Andretti will beat them upon arrival.
Maybe Alpine. They could be really worried about
There's
that.
probably 2 teams at a pinch that should be looking at how dedicated Andretti is to getting into Formula
Oh
1.
shit, yeah. What the Let's see. Can I have... They did... I don't know how big news this is or when all this stuff happened, but Andretti is building a lot in... Are they in Great Britain also? Let's see, he say anything about that? Some big factory or the fuck is doing? See if I go back to that, then I can see Andretti. Fucking not Andretti. Google works so much better. Man, need to see if I go back to so much I needed to write to get anything about Andretti. Fitzball, man. Nobody cares about them. Okay, what the fuck? Factory. So they are in Silverstone. No, fuck you, Autosport. Will not accept anything. Yeah, this day. No, when the fuck did they do this? When did start it? Andretti Global Green Racing. The fuck is that? No nice information about this. No, I don't want to accept anything. Just give information when all this started. Oh my god. Lotus. Apparently, no.
Thinking, yeah, we've got to pull our fingers out here. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren have nothing to worry about, really. I'm from an era of the 107% rule. Having 26 cars on the grid isn't a priority for me. Quality over quantity. The English office versus the American office, to use my pop culture reference up for today. If you've got a car and there's space on the grid, knock yourselves out. So long as your car is within 107% and you can show you're actually trying, then go for it. Minardi knocked about at the back of the grid doing nothing for about 20 years and occasionally fluked a good result, but nobody was saying anything back then. Well, the teams were by around kind of 2003, but I think that might have been, we don't like this Aussie bloke more than, you're too slow, go away. And as people have said on other videos about this whole franchise system and this, that and the other, people have been saying, well, what about Williams? What about Sauber? What about Haas? They came in at different times, different Concord agreements, different management. I am in agreement with Mohammed Ben Sulayem. More teams, fewer races. 12 teams and 20 races seems like the optimal balance for me. With Formula 1 cars now the most competitive they've ever been, at least in the gaps between first and last place, a couple of extra teams in the mix adds to the spectacle. You'll have a lot of teams in an actual dogfight on track. There hasn't been a non-qualification through being too slow in 12 years. Just thinking back to the days of, I don't know, the mid to late 1990s when it was teams like Arrows, Tyrrell, Minardi, Forty, Pacific, Simtech and so on, getting a slice of that Constructors' Championship pie was invaluable to them. Remember Marussia celebrating 9th place in Monaco like they just won the championship? That was because of the money involved. They'd got points where Caterham didn't. They were basically guaranteed money in the Constructors' Championship. Now, there's...
That I would say, if Andretti and Cadillac gets in the 11 team, I hope they change so even they are 11, they will still get money.
Cost caps. If you win the championship, you stand to win about $140 million, which is the figure that Autosport has put up in the last couple of years or so. The cost cap is $135 million. So if you win the championship, your development for the next season is paid for. So why be intent on keeping all of that money if you can't spend all of it? Unless I'm overthinking things. I probably am, aren't I? But still, Andretti is not unfazed here. A new factory has been unveiled in Silverstone and Michael is looking at entering Formula 2 instead. Maybe going the old Pacific 40 and Eddie Jordan route of going from the lower leagues and then joining the top league when maybe a spot opens up.
Oh my god. That would not be funny if they joins Formula 2, Formula 3 and they are super bad
12-team limit
in these
becomes 10.
categories.
Then what does he do next? At this rate, the only way of having 12 teams on the grid is to buy F1 2024 and get on Photoshop and make your My Team car look, well, like it actually fits on the grid. So anyway, rumours abound once again, and this thing has been my opinions on that thing. If this thing has made you think things about the thing, then like this thing so I know I've done a good job. And for more things like this thing, then hit the subscribe button thing and the bell icon thing so you never miss out on anything that I do around here. Massive thanks as ever to the rad lads at Patreon for the support, and if you want to help keep things running around here, then there's a link to Patreon in the description, along with links to Discord, socials and other bits and bobs that you might want or need to know. All this super thanks and memberships if those float your boat. So until next time, I've been Aidan Millward, have a great day wherever you are, and goodbye.
So we'll see. Will Andretti join? Will they not join? Yeah. Let's end this with some Kym Illman, celebrities who follow F1.
Celebrities that follow Formula One, and there are many of them, but there are also many that love the exposure that comes from being seen in the F1 paddock. In this video, I'm going to go through many of the celebrities that I've photographed at the track in the 7 seasons that I've been shooting this sport.
7 seasons.
Let's kick it off with one of the biggest names in the entertainment world, Brad Pitt. Of course, Brad's filming a movie with Apple, and he's been there in a work capacity, but occasionally has come along just to enjoy the atmosphere. What about Neymar, the soccer player? Huge name in sport, has been to a number of races over the past couple of years.
I don't
He's a
know
good friend of
anything
Lewis
about him.
Hamilton's. Michael Jordan, is there a bigger name in basketball? Maybe, but he was seen at the very first Miami Grand Prix, and he towered above everybody else. And then there's Tom Cruise, spotted here. Huge name in the movie world.
Yeah.
And
Only one I know.
of course, a lot of you are going to be saying, why are these people getting free tickets? Are they getting free tickets? Yeah, mostly yes. Unless it's a crazy event like Las Vegas where some celebrities were having to pay for tickets. But most of the time they're invited by, say, F1 or a team. If they're invited by F1, typically we'll get notification of who's coming to a race if they're a guest of Formula One. And Formula One's clever because they know that a post on Cristiano Ronaldo's page is worth millions of dollars to them. And what does it cost Formula One? A ticket to the event. And they're the people printing the tickets. So in terms of a marketing strategy, there is probably none better for getting attention to the sport.
Yeah, true.
I did mention Cristiano Ronaldo. No, I've never seen him at the track,
New
but
fish
I
for the
remember him
collection.
popping up once in Monaco. Very difficult for a man like him to get around the paddock because he's
One
just
more new
wild.
fish,
He
McDonald's
needs
fish.
plenty of security, and he's not the only one to have security. People like David Beckham, I've seen him at a number of races. Yes, he comes with security, but he loves the sport and he loves mixing with his fellow Brits, the likes of Lando Norris here in Qatar, going back to the...
Oh my gosh, so many new fish.
2021. What about regulars, people we see more than once? I'm going to mention here the likes of Martin Garrix, the DJ, good friend of Lando's, Daniel's and Max's. He's often a headline act at the event, playing to tens of thousands of people who stay on after the race. Will.i.am, huge fan. I've seen him so often, get along with him well, lovely man. He even did that song for Formula One. He's a personal friend of Stefano Domenicali's, and I believe he has a season pass, which means he can just rock up to any race that he wants. Michael Douglas loves Formula One. Remember this bit? Big fan of Martin Brundle's?
Week in and week out, I'm so impressed both here in the pit and your colour commentary. You're amazing.
And he's joined by his wife, Catherine Zeta-Jones, at various races. I've seen Shaquille O'Neal at a number of races. He's a powerful fella with a huge audience. And these people, as I mentioned before, are influencers. So they can influence people to come and like our sport. Jackie Stewart, legendary 3-time world champion. Of course, Jackie is there in official capacity. He often takes tours for Rolex. Patrick Dempsey, he loves Formula One. I think he's a racer himself. I've seen him at a number of tracks, in particular Vegas and Austin in 2023 and Monaco in 2022. And what about this regular, Jerry Horner-Halliwell, a Spice Girl, also married to Red Bull CEO and team principal.
The fuck? Really? Okay. I think I've heard it, but never knew why it was said. But okay, no.
Christian Horner. Let's move on to sports stars now, the likes of Patrick Mahomes with his wife Brittany in Miami last year, even smiling for a picture. Of course, he's the legendary quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennis stars, yes, we see a few of them. Serena Williams, sister Venus Williams, Roger Federer, caught up with him in Miami last year. Here's Lindsey Vonn, Olympic champion, New York Times best-selling author, entrepreneur, investor, and dog mum, according to her Instagram page. Scotty James was at a couple of races, most recently in Melbourne with his girlfriend, well, no, wife now, Chloe Stroll, daughter of Lawrence and sister of Lance. Golfers, yes, one past champion in Greg Norman, a fellow Australian, spotted him at the Miami GP last year. And Rory McIlroy. Actually had a chat with Rory on the grid at COTA last year. He was a guest of Alpine. Even did a little fun putting challenge with both of their drivers. What about fighters? Yes, I've spotted a couple. Alexander Volkovsky, recently at the Australian GP.
Don't
Paddy
know anything
Pimblett,
about...
Paddy the Baddy. Here he is, along with Conor McGregor, who had his boat in a plum spot in Monaco.
The fuck is
was
this?
Dressed rather loudly. A couple of other footballers, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, seen him on a couple of occasions. He does wear some nice watches. And Patrice Evra, very stylish dresser. And a rather odd one, a fencer. Not a fencer rector, I'm talking about a fencer at the Olympics. Miles Chamley-Watson, friend of Lewis Hamilton's, and always dresses like a champion. Said he'd take me out and style me, but that never happened. I don't think I'd be game enough to wear the sort of stuff that he and Lewis wears. Let's move on to some actors, shall we? And I'm talking Terry Crews, who loves the TV camera. Orlando Bloom, movie star. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, spotted him in Monaco last year. Vin Diesel was in Miami last year. Chris Hemsworth, a fellow Australian, spotted him in Monaco in 2017. And Abu Dhabi last year. Adam Driver's been to an F1 race. Not sure if he was there to watch any of the racing. He was certainly there to do some filming in the paddock for his movie Ferrari. Liam Cunningham, many of you will know him. And one of my favourites, Harrison Ford. A couple of years ago in Silverstone, I got word from a friend of mine that he was coming. So I thought, I'm going to go out and wait for him. It was close to race start time, but I love Harrison. And it was when COVID was happening, so that was 2021. And I just happened to see him get out of the car, and I raced over, and he walked around the back of the car, and as he walked around the back, he put his mask on. I thought, oh no, I missed out on a photo, but he looked at me, and I was the only photographer there, so he very kindly took the mask off for me for this series of shots. And my favourite Harrison Ford movie?
That's nice.
Frantic. Now, I guess a number of you haven't seen that movie, so go and have a look. It's old, but I love it. More actors, please.
I only see Star Wars.
Okay, what about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney? They now own a part of Alpine. They've joined us in the paddock.
Man, wasted money getting into Alpine.
as has Kym Illman, the internet sensation, having been seen in Monza and Miami in 2023 and Abu Dhabi and Monaco in 2022. Now, he has a huge following on Instagram, and this is a prime example of F1 inviting people with incredible reach to get their message out to those particular influencers' audience. And it, as I said before, is a very sound and solid strategy. As much as I know a lot of you will just hate the idea. Why can't you give those tickets to people like us? F1 will say they get better value out of giving it to an influencer. Singers. Mariah Carey, I've shot her. She had her youngster with her going back to Monaco. And I did actually suggest she get into the safety car. She was looking at it on the grid, which she did and posed for these pictures. Christine Aguilera, a lot of you said she's got no idea about the sport. She doesn't have to. She's just there to have a look. Ed Sheeran, saw him at COTA. What I did note, that he had the most, obstructive security guard I've ever seen. He just wanted to stand in front of our photos. He was diligently looking to run interference. And of course, when you get 3 photographers in an arc, he could only cover 1, maybe 2 at best. So somebody always got a photo. But Ed, I think, was enjoying it immensely. Do you know this woman, Megan Thee Stallion?
Nope.
Well, she caused quite a stir because she wouldn't talk to Martin Brundle on the grid, and then she went out into pit lane where she posed for images in this rather revealing dress for about 15 or 20 photographers. The Jonas Brothers, and then Joe Jonas on his own. I've spotted those at the track. J Balvin, seen him on 2 occasions. I didn't know much about him before I photographed him in Miami at the first race, and I realised he is absolutely huge on the internet. And you, well, not you in particular, but you as a group, certainly embraced him on Instagram.
Nope.
Queen Latifah, yes, seen her. Pharrell Williams, who's quite influential in a number of areas, and indeed
like what?
An adventurous dresser. And then DJs, the likes of Armin van Buuren and Tiesto. Royalty, have we had any royalty? Yes, we have the Prince and Princess of Monaco, Prince Harry last year at COTA. Those pictures of mine
actually
were
more important
huge.
people.
They popped up all over the world. We did get warning actually earlier in the day that he was coming, but a few people were quite sceptical. But it turns out he indeed was there, was a guest of Mercedes for some part of the day. And finally we'll get on to models. And we do see a number of models in the paddock, some starting out and others hugely successful, having had a long career. And I'll go to Heidi Klum, who I spotted not even in the paddock. She was actually going to a corporate facility just near the paddock wearing this particular outfit. And at the time, when I took the photo, I didn't know it was her. And I certainly didn't know her boyfriend. I took the pictures and I looked in the back of the camera after she left and I thought, oh, that must be, because I didn't have glasses on, that must be a body stocking she's wearing under that. And I put that up to Getty Images. Well, that picture went crazy because there was no body stocking. That was all skin. Now, on that topic, I spotted this comment on one of my Las Vegas videos, and I'd never paid much attention to that graph, so I checked it out. And this was the segment. So I contacted the model in question, Veronica, with a K, and asked her about that outfit that she wore on the Saturday.
People don't understand that it's my job to look sexy and nice, and they are blaming me. How dare I can go for such an events like this? That's my
actually true. The fuck, come on, have some decency.
Job to look good. I chose it by myself, and also like I think on such an events where
light grey, light blue.
They are fast cars. I think there is compatibility with beautiful women in amazing dresses.
And just 2 other models I'll bring your attention to. Noel Doll, Ivana Noel. You might have seen her in Croatia. She was quite popular wearing the red and white colours of the Croatian flag. And Cara Delevingne, who had little or no time for Martin Brundle on the grid.
I'm sure it would have been extremely interesting.
And finally, the celebrity that I've seen most often at the track, yes, I'm pretty sure I can say that, is Gordon Ramsay, the famous chef. My gosh, I've seen him at 7 races, including Vegas last year, Monza, Silverstone, Austria, Canada, and the year prior, Austria and Saudi Arabia, often in the company of his daughter, Holly. It's true that celebrities love Formula One for a couple of reasons, as I've mentioned before. But as long as we have celebrities, they will be a regular part of Formula One. And a reminder that you can pick up a whole host of signed prints from the likes of drivers and even past greats like Jackie Stewart by heading to my website, kymillman.com. And remember, each print is individually numbered and you get a digital print of that person signing your picture so you have irrefutable proof of authenticity. With that said, I'm going to ask you to please like this video. A number of you have not yet subscribed, and if so, you're probably missing out on valuable content. It comes to you free of charge.
I will not
and for a whole
actually.
lot of extra content and merchandise, click
Red,
over here.
yellow.
Merchandise like this hat, which at the time of recording is not available, but if you're watching it sometime after this video's release, you could be able to pick one of those up now. It comes in grey and blue. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate.
Red and yellow.
Jason.
And now we just finish up the... Wait, green, green. Green, green. Do we have yellow? Do we have green? Green, right? Wait, yellow. Yellow, purple, cyan, yellow. Blue, red, blue, light. Clayfish. Oh, many clayfish. 4 clayfish. Cyan purple. Cyan purple. The fuck? Cyan purple. They're really cyan. Light blue, cyan. Okay, let's see. The fuck? Okay, light blue. I need to switch this up. Wait, light blue. Light blue. Man, where did I place? Oh, cyan. Wait, that's light gray. There are light blue and light blue. God damn it. Oh wait, light blue. More light blue. Lime. Lime. Light gray, light gray. blue, purple, yellow, yellow. And that was the only Clayfish. Now we dasher. I had no dasher. Just no flopper. Here we have glitter. Cyan gray. Oh, cyan. Magenta cyan. Gray, no gray. Sunshine Cop. Cop cyan brown. Cyan. No cyan. Oh no, fuck me. Oh, brown. Okay, that's right. Snooper, Magenta, light blue. No. See, Magenta. Oh, Magenta. Light blue. Spotty pink, black. Pink. Pink, black. Then we have pink there. Sunstreak. Light blue, blue. Light blue. Light blue, brown, and light blue, blue. Let me go off with that fish to really make sure. Light gray, light blue. Light gray, light blue, light gray, light gray, light blue. And then we end it soon. After I place down the fish. Let's see, this is the wrong place. And I need to go to the other side and then I can go use the elevator to get where I actually want. Then we place it down. Yeah. Yeah, light gray, light blue. Right. Light gray, light blue. Now the last. It's raining. Okay, well it's getting dark and I can go and sleep. I can go through. Let's see. What do I think? Charles Leclerc pole position, and then Max, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Norris, Piastri, Alonso, Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Tsunoda. Oh no, not Lewis Hamilton. Let's see, Russell, Tsunoda, and Jürgen Joe, sure. More points for Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team and first points for Stake F1 team Kick Saber. And I let's see. Good surprise. Yeah, the good surprise is Charles Leclerc get the pole position. Biggest flop, Mercedes, like always. No, isn't that somewhat right? That. Red Bull, then Ferrari, then McLaren, and then after that we have some mixed feeling between Mercedes and Aston Martin. I hope Alex Albon will start getting some points. I mean, the only good thing with this season that is Williams they're like Visa Cash App RB Formula 1 team, but slightly worse. But they feel like they can score points every race if they are really lucky. And Alpine are that bad, that's weird. Oh, Jürgen Joe is... Oh my god, he's better than Ricciardo, Con, Gasly, Bottas and Sargent. Weird. I mean, the future one, this flag and this flag will be up here. Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe this one. I mean, these flags can just go away. And maybe this flag. Is it done now? Oh shit. And like always, we end it here.